A very good evening to one and all. Today we are going to learn the most important concept in number system. So today we are going to learn the different type of numbers. So the first we are going to learn natural numbers. So natural numbers. What do you mean by natural numbers? All positive integers means the numbers which are starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, so on are called as natural numbers. Next, whole numbers. What are whole numbers? Set of all natural numbers and it including 0 means the whole number starts from 0 to infinite. Next, we are going to learn integers. Integers are represented by Z, and in integers we have two type of integers. Those are positive integers and negative integers. Here, what are the positive integers? The positive integers are which are rightmost of 0 are called positive integers. Example 1, 2, 3, 4 means the numbers which are having positive values are called as positive integers, whereas the numbers which are leftmost of 0 are called negative integers, are the numbers which are having negative sign are called negative integers. Then what about 0? 0 is neither a positive integer nor a negative integer. Next, even numbers. Numbers that are exactly divisible by 2. These numbers end in even numbers or 0. The numbers which are divisible by 2 are called even numbers. Suppose I am taking number 10. Here the last digit 0 is ending with 0. So we call it as an even number. In other words, all the multiples of 2 are called as even numbers. Odd numbers. The non-multiples of 2 are called as even numbers. Suppose we are taking 3. So we 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. There is no 3 in table of 2. So numbers that are not exactly divisible by 2 or the numbers which are not divisible by 2, those numbers are called as odd numbers. Next, some of the most important properties related to even numbers and odd numbers. Suppose if we add any two even numbers, again the sum is also an even number. Suppose I am taking number 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. Here 3 is an odd number and 5 is an odd number, and at last the sum we are getting as an even number. And if you take 2 plus 4, 2 is an even number and 4 is also an even number. The sum of two even numbers is an even number, and the sum of two odd numbers is also an even number, whereas the sum of one even number and one odd number is always an odd number, and the multiples of two odd numbers is also an odd number, and multiples of two even numbers is also an even number. So these are some of the important properties we have to learn in numbers. Next, rational numbers. Rational numbers are represented by Q, numbers which can be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P and Q both are integers, and where Q is a non-zero integer, means here the Q value should not be equal to 0. A number expressed in the form of P by Q is called a fraction. So the numbers which we can express in the form of P by Q also called as fractions, where P is numerator and here Q is denominator. And the most important thing we have to remember here is Q should not be, that is denominator should not be equal to 0. And irrational numbers. The numbers which we can't express in the form of P by Q are called as irrational numbers. That is the numbers which are not rational. In other words, we call as the numbers which are not rational are called as irrational numbers. These numbers, when converted into decimal, give infinite and non-recurring digits after decimal sign. Some of the examples of irrational numbers are pi, √2, √3, √7, so on. Real numbers. Real numbers are a combination of rational numbers and irrational numbers. In other words, we can also say as real numbers are a combination of natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, even numbers, odd numbers, rational numbers and irrational numbers. All these come under real numbers. Next, we are going to learn complex or imaginary numbers. These numbers are written as a plus bi. We can write complex or imaginary numbers in the format of a plus bi, where I square is equal to -1. So prime numbers, a number which is not divisible by any number other than 1 and itself. Those numbers have only two factors, the number itself and 1. Example, I am taking 2. So we can say that 2 is a prime number. Why? Because if I multiply, in how many ways I can multiply 2? I can multiply 2 in only in one way. 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Here we are getting only two factors. What are the two factors? The number and 1, right? And if I am taking 4 as a number, I can write 4 as 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. So how many factors I am getting here? 1, 2 and 4. Here I am getting 3 factors. When I am getting more than 2 factors, we call those numbers and composite numbers. We call those numbers as composite numbers. But if we get exactly 2 factors, so what are the 2 factors? 1 and the number itself. For example, I am taking one more number, 13. I can write 13 as 1 times 13. So here how many factors I am getting? 1 and 13 itself, means the number itself, right? So these type of numbers are called prime numbers. Next, we have another type of prime number that is called twin prime numbers. Twins means what? 2, right? So pairs of such numbers whose difference is 2. So if you take any 2 prime numbers and if their difference is exactly 2, then we call them as twin prime numbers. Example, 3 and 5. Here 5 minus 3, difference means what we have to do here? Subtract. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. 13 minus 11 is equal to 2. 19 minus 17 is equal to 2. From above examples, the difference is 2. So when there is a difference between two numbers is exactly 2, we call them as twin prime numbers. Next, composite numbers. As we discussed earlier, so composite numbers means the numbers which are having more than 2 factors are called composite numbers. And we can also say that the least prime number which is only an even number is 2. So 2 is the least prime number which is only even number, and the least composite number is 4. So what about 1? Here 1 is neither a prime number nor a composite number. Why? Because if we in number 1 we get only one factor. So that is the reason to become a prime number you should have at least minimum 2 factors. To become as a composite number, minimum it should have at least 3 factors. Whereas if you take 2, so it is having only one factor. So here 1 is not a prime number, it is also not a composite number. And next we are going to learn face values and place values. Face values means what? The number itself. Face value is absolute value of a digit in a number. Whatever the number is, the number itself we call it as a face value. And what about place value? Suppose I am taking 14921. What is the face value of 9 here? The face value of 9 here is 9 itself. Then place value. So here 9 is in hundreds place, right? 9 is in hundreds place, 1 is in units place, 2 is in tens place, 9 is in hundreds place, 4 is in thousands place, and 1 is in 10,000s place. From this we conclude that 9 in hundreds place, 9 times 100 is equal to 900. So we can say that face value of 9 is 9 itself, means the number itself, whereas the place value of 9 is 900. Thank you.